Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
Now start over, please.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Andy. Okay. Where's
Hold there.
we'll go back over. Okay. Here today at Top Games for the Legacy Box Tournament, we have on our first round Goblin Charbelcher versus Goblin Charbelcher. We have on the top screen Brimer and on the bottom screen Albert. They are both playing a top tier deck. It looks like Brimer starts out with the Gitaxian Probe, knowing exactly what he's going against, and it looks like he's going against a first turn empty the Warrens for at least 14 goblins.
So, just so you know, guys, my name is Charles up here at Top Games, and Jensen's who you just heard. He's gonna be your play-by-play guy today. Me, I'm just kind of more what you'd say a fill-in, and you'll be hearing me ask him some questions. For some of you out there that might seem a little asinine, hey, what do you not know? And well, for the rest of those people out there who don't know, that's kind of me actually. I'm very new to this game, but that's what Jensen's here for, to give you guys all the in-depth knowledge of what's exactly laying down.
Now we just see something big happen. He does the Gitaxian Probe. No other spells, though. That leaves Albert open to just swing in huge if he can combo off right now. So let's see what he's going to do. A lot of acceleration, 2 mana floating, 1 mana on the field. Taps it to be able to make his 3rd mana, and that makes 5. Goblin Charbelcher. Okay. Lines of activation. So we see game right there. He has his land in play, no other lands in his deck, and he easily just does 50 damage to Brimer, killing him on turn 1.
Okay, so explain to us real quick exactly how that game ended so quickly. What exactly a game with Charbelcher does.
So Goblin Charbelcher deck runs 2 combos. One's Empty the Warrens, where you get 2 goblins for every spell you played that turn. And the other one is Goblin Charbelcher, which costs 4 to play, 3 to activate it. When you activate it, you reveal cards from the top of your library till you reveal a land. Do damage equal to the cards you revealed, and if it ends up being a mountain, you do double. That deck only runs 1 land. Albert had his land in play, meaning he reveals his whole deck, does over 50 damage. It becomes a turn 1 kill, and here's the interesting thing about that last game. He didn't have the Belcher in his opening hand. He drew into it. So he top-decked in Belcher, and that did fantastically well. But now they have a chance to be able to sideboard, and I don't know if I see them sideboarding anything right now.
So what you're saying is while it is definitely a very fast deck, it's also it's a high risk, high reward.
It is. 1 counter spell can destroy the whole deck if you know how to play against it. You normally wait till they make 4 mana, and because Belcher costs 4, Empty the Warrens costs 4, you stop it right there. But 2 Belchers against each other, it's normally whoever wins the die roll, whoever goes first, is normally who's going to win.
So just to clarify, what you're saying, round 1's about to be over pretty fast.
Yeah, round 1 will be over pretty fast.
So Albert's got 1-0 on Brimer. Looks like we're about to start our second round.
Yes. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Albert even mulliganed the first game. Is that correct, Albert?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So he mulliganed down, and he still... they both did. And still had a turn 1. That's the thing. Being able to even draw 1 less card and go off on turn 1 is amazingly broken.
You heard it here, folks. Broken.
Broken.
So yeah, guys, this is something we do at least once a month. We're having these box tournaments, standard, legacy. I think we're trying to grow the modern crowd. But here we go we'll get more of that later. They're going into their first turn.
Looks like Albert is mulliganing, but Brimer is keeping.
Brimer must like what he has already.
Yeah, he must have a pretty good hand, pretty good confidence, because he knows the chances of hitting up against a turn 1 with Albert is really, really high.
So does this mean he possibly has one of that Warren thing or that Charbelcher you were talking about? Is it possible to have, is that what he's banking on, or he's banking on that 1 land?
Yeah, Brimer would not be keeping his hand if he didn't have something, but then again, he also has Reforged Soul in there, which I don't think Albert runs. So he has a lot of more draw acceleration, but Albert has a lot more things that make his combos go off faster.
What does Reforge do?
Reforge lets you discard your hand, draw 7 more cards. So he has the ability to flood mana and then redo his whole hand.
Free mulligan, basically what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like a free mulligan if you have the mana to play it. No, we don't know. I mean, Primer's a good player. Okay, so he pays 2 life, draws a card. He might just be hoping to draw into his combo. Okay, plays a land grant, revealing it. If he has no lands in his hand, he gets to. You got to reveal your hand, Barmer. Yeah, if he has no lands in his hand, he can play land grant for free, giving him that 1 land, meaning he has a chance to be able to combo off. So we just saw his hand with the land grant. He has a lot of acceleration, but does he have enough for a first turn? Okay. So let's see what Barmer's going to do. Plays a Lotus Petal for free, another Lotus Petal. Okay, so now he has 2 mana floating, draws a card.
I think even from here I can see what's in his hand.
Well, let's see what he ends up doing. So 2 mana floating. Can Brimer make this happen? Okay, so that gives him in 5 mana, I believe, that he has on the field right now. Yes, 5 mana. That makes 6 mana.
He's thinking hard, apparently.
Yeah.
He
doesn't want to mess up. He wants to see if he has enough to activate it and kill him on the first turn, because he knows if not, Albert has a very good chance of being able to kill him.
For rounds that are pretty quick, this is pretty tense.
Yeah. Well, if he makes a misplay and doesn't go off, he's going against another first turn kill.
And he has to believe that he has to believe that this is that's what's to happen. Like you said, it's a.
I mean, you have to make the assumption. When you're playing against Belcher, you always have to assume it's going to go off turn 1 because it's so consistent. Okay, so he sacks both of those.
Sacking both of those did what for him?
Each one of those Tinder Walls, sacking gives him 2 mana. So. Okay, so he did the exact same thing that Albert did game 1, and ran in with the Belcher. Got him turn 1.
Turn 1 Belcher kill, like you said.
Yep, but here's the thing that Brimer has to worry about. Albert's now on the play. Albert gets to go first. We've seen both of these decks go off turn 1. He has to get lucky and hope that Albert doesn't get a turn 1 hand. But as we know, his deck is more consistent in going off turn 1, while Brimer's is more consistent in drawing cards. Brimer's in a very sticky situation.
Well, guys, that's where we're at right now. We've got a 1-1. Chris Brimer on top, Albert Wisdom on bottom. Chris Brimer on your main screen is playing off the mat. Albert's gone naked on us. We got to see what we can do to help fix that problem. Maybe get Albert a play mat here. Just so you guys know, listening at home here at Top Games, Andy makes a lot of custom game mats. If you were watching our epic match before with Darth Vader and Boba, you saw them with the nice Jace and who's the fire lady?
Chandra,
Chandra, and that pale-looking goth chick, whoever that was.
Liliana.
Liliana. See, there you go, guys. You got to bear with me, guys. That's why I'm on the mic. That's why we have Jensen, so you can explain all this stuff to us. And I'm on here so I can ask the silly noob questions without feeling too embarrassed about it. But Andy Gray does a lot of things here. Does a lot of custom art, custom mats. He did that Jace Chandra Liliana mat earlier with Vader had, and had a Popo with his giant white beautiful eyes and big rosy red lips, and solid black mat where he just stares at you, stares deep into your soul.
He will eat your soul.
And probably will do that. Like I said, guys, we do this at least once a month, and we have Friday Night Magic every Friday night here at Gardendale. Top Games. It's a $5 buy-in, but everybody who buys in, gets
a pack, and then prizes given out top 4.
Prizes given out top 4, booster pack to everybody who buys in. Everybody's guaranteed something. Everybody's guaranteed a good time. I'll tell you that. Sometimes we have music going. Sometimes it's just good hanging out. We've always got a crowd of people. And we're about to get on with, they're getting their shuffle on. it looks like we're about to possibly get with game 3 of round 1.
Yep.
Our stream hookup.
Yep. So we see Albert doing the pile shuffling. I'm a big fan of pile shuffling, especially with something like Belcher, because you want to make sure your deck's shuffled good. You don't want those Goblin Charbelchers sticking together.
Is pile shuffling that little where he does the multiple stacks and he shuffles that way? I was talking about shuffling earlier, about how I've always, it's always almost hypnotizing, looking at this stuff and watching how these guys shuffle their decks. It's almost complex, like there's a method to the madness.
You have to be careful. You want to shuffle your deck good, but you don't want to damage your cards. So pile shuffling gets your deck shuffled good, but you're not bending your cards. And if you're playing with $100 cards, you want to be careful. So that's very good of Albert to shuffle his deck that way. And with Belcher, you can't have cards sticking together in Belcher that are the same. That's really devastating to you. So now they both draw in their hands.
Looks like Albert's keeping his. No. Oh, yeah. Keeping his hand. Albert feels comfortable.
Okay. He plays a land grant, revealing his hand. So it looks like we have a lot of mana acceleration and an empty the warren. So we're probably going to see a lot of goblins flood the field.
So he's going with the empty warren strategy this time instead of Belcher.
Yeah, so he's going to try to put out a whole lot of goblins really fast and then do a beatdown.
I have a question. The Belcher, that does direct damage to players. So it doesn't matter if he has... So it's possible that if he doesn't get him his first turn, which I'm assuming that's what he's playing for, it's possible for Brimer to answer on second turn if he has Belcher.
If he has Belcher. You saw Belcher in both the first games in their hands, and it's unlikely that it will happen again. But it can still happen because Belcher's very consistent.
That's what you build the deck for.
Yeah.
You want that Belcher to happen. And neither one of them mulligan, so they both have an idea for first play.
Yeah, they each have a good first play. We see him keeping up his Storm count in the bottom, so that's his second spell. Now he's making 2 mana in his mana pool. Okay, now he has 3 mana floating. Empty the Warrens only costs 4. Okay, now he has 5 mana, more than enough for Empty the Warrens. And 4 spells in the stack. He plays a Goblin, the Empty the Warrens, and he's going to make 10 Goblins. So that puts Brimer on a 2-turn clock. So Brimer, of course, can take 20 damage. He's going to be able to get attacked this next turn, putting him at 10. So he has that many turns. Now, if he can use Empty the Warrens as well, he'll have blockers, and they'll just kind of start back over and see who can draw into what faster.
Who's going to get the more goblins in the field, or whoever can get Belcher first?
Exactly. Now, Brimer going second means that, there's his hand. Okay, he has a Charbelcher. He has a lot of mana, but does he have the 7? This puts Brimer in position. I don't think he has the 7 mana, so he has to get the Belcher on the field and then hope that he ends up being able to get the 3 mana in that 2-turn clock.
But he's also shown to Albert that he does have, in fact, Charbelcher in his hand.
He does.
But does that really change his strategy at all, or is Albert already from the start knew that he had to be aggressive and attack him as fast as he can?
He knows he has to be aggressive, but what we're looking at right now is Brimer has enough mana to get out the Belcher. Doesn't he have enough to activate it? So now he's digging. He's hoping to draw that 1 extra accelerant to give him enough.
You used that term a couple times, acceleration. For us noob guys out there, what does that mean, acceleration?
That acceleration means flooding the field with mana very, very fast to get his spells out faster than his opponent can stop him.
And this is done in the form of either special creature cards, special lands, or just spells that make those things happen.
Yeah, instants and sorceries that are going to add mana to his mana pool. So we see Brimer thinking very hard, trying to think of exactly how much mana he can make.
That's not Brimer thinking hard. That's just Brimer.
This is Brimer. Okay.
I love you, Brimer.
Okay. Now that's 3 mana.
This is getting pretty tense. Like I can feel it almost. Yeah. It's
4 mana. Okay, 5, 6. Is that right? 2. That's 5, 6. Really, Reforge the Soul.
So that Reforged Soul gives him 7 new cards, right?
It does.
Did he lose Charbelcher doing that?
He does. So Belcher goes out of your hand into the graveyard. He actually did have 7 mana there. He miscounted. You have you got a seething song, right? Yeah, and then your land makes 7. You miscounted. Yep. So I'm sure Albert is ecstatic right now. Yeah. So he just gave Albert a full hand back of fodder and did it for himself as well. And he made a bad mistake. He made the misplay of the game. If not, he would have won.
How often do misplays happen? Do they happen? Because I hear that term thrown out a lot, but do misplays seem to happen almost every game? Is it easy? Because it seems like this can be a complicated game.
Against better players, misplays don't happen as much. But when you get nervous and you're in a tournament and you're trying to make it go exactly right, you'll make a lot of misplays if you're not used to the tournament ring. Once you get used to playing in tournaments, you get used to the stress of it, and you don't mess up as much.
Well, not to mention you've also got 2 guys watching them live on stream, and they are live on stream, and you got 2 guys kind of sitting here talking, pseudo-judging them.
Yeah, all our judgment just ringing in.
So what's Primer doing right now? What's happening?
He's digging. He's trying to use as many draw spells as he can, hoping that he can get something to let him combo off this turn before Albert, with his full hand and his 10 goblins on the field, can wipe him.
Explain digging.
Digging, that's just me saying that he is using as many draw spells as he can and praying in hopes that it will lead him into a combo. So he's thinking really hard. We don't know yet what he has, if he has anything.
Again, just to ask, does Charbelcher have any card restriction limits, or can you have is up to 4 in your deck?
Yeah, in Magic you can only have up to 4 in your deck.
I was just wondering if Charbelcher had any kind of card restriction limit, if there is any, if you can only have 1 maybe.
No.
So there is a possibility he could draw another Charbelcher, and there's a possibility he's going to try maybe get a Warren.
He plays Empty the Warrens, 2 for each spell. That's the good thing about Reforge the Soul. He just played a lot of spells. So he just made 22 goblins on his turn 1 against 10 goblins. So he has a lot to flood out, but he also really has to worry about... Albert has a full hand. What does Albert have in his hand? Does he have a combo in his hand? So now
but right now, it's looking like he's making good off of his misplay. He now outnumbers Albert over 2-1, at least as far as creeps go.
Yeah, as far as creatures go, he's outnumbering him 2-1. But we're still not sure. We got to see what Albert's going to end up doing, and Albert still has 3 turns to buy himself because he has a lot of blockers.
Well, guys, from the little I know and the 2 games I've already seen so far, in my opinion, and one game putting that 1 round putting out 22 creatures, I think can be good. But since I've seen these games now end twice in round 1, and I've seen them both flood out the field with an army of creatures, I don't know what's going to happen. And what's Albert throwing down right now?
He's mana accelerating, so he's made 2 mana floating in his mana pool, and he has a land untapped, so he can make 3 mana at the current moment. And we're going to see Albert probably try to do some sort of combo. Manamorphose, he's being able to draw cards, so he's looking for something. So, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana, okay, now he has 5, 7.
Is he thinking about possibly activating a...
He just put a Goblin Charbelcher in the field, making the 7 mana and activate it. And the thing is, Brimer, playing Reforged the Soul, gave him the perfect hand to be able to kill him because of a misplay. And that's one thing you have to worry about, especially when you're playing Belcher, counting your lands outright. You know, not getting too excited, not getting too nervous, and just going as slow as you can to make sure that you're able to not make that one misplay. But that was a great game. We each saw turn 1 kills on each one, and then hold each other off.
We also got to see the activation of both those cards you said that the Belcher decks are based off of. Empty the Warrens and the Goblin Charbelcher.
Yes. So good job to Albert. He goes on and gets it 2-1 and on into round 2.
All right, guys. Well, that's round 1 of 3 today for our box tournament, Legacy Box Tournament. As you guys just heard, we had Albert, Mr. Albert Wisdom, take this game 2-1. Round 2 kill on the 3rd game. Both of them had round 1 kills using their Goblin Charbelcher. It was an exciting game. I learned a lot of stuff right there. Hope you guys did. And we'll see you guys back at round 2. Get some more Magic action going. Thank you, guys.